One winter's night when the cold wind blew, the engines found it hard to sleep. "What we need," suggested Toby, "is to listen to a story." "Yes," agreed Percy, "a mysterious story." "But," added Duck, "it must have a happy ending." "Driver told me a story," said Thomas, so everyone listened. "Once upon a time," began Thomas, "there were 3 little engines who lived in their own little shed on their own little railway. Their names were Duke, Stuart, and Falcon. Duke was the oldest and was named after His Grace, the Duke of Sodor. He was proud of this and loved to keep the little engines in order. Whenever they did anything that Duke thought wrong, he would say, "That would never suit His Grace." Other engines came and went, but Duke outlasted them all. Stuart and Falcon used to call him Grandpuff. They were fond of him, but they got very tired of hearing all about His Grace. Sometimes they would tease him and chant, "Engines come and engines go. Grandpuff goes on forever." "You impertinent scallywags," Duke would say. "Whatever are you engines coming to?" "Never mind, Grandpuff. We're only young once." "Well, you'd better mind, unless you want to end up like Smudger." "Oh, Grandpuff, whatever happened?" "Smudger," said Duke, "was a show-off. He rode roughly and often came off the rails. I warned him to be careful, but he took no notice." "Listen, Dookie," he snarled, "who worries about a few spills?" "We do here," I said, but Smudger just laughed. Until one day, manager said he was going to make him useful at last. Smudger stopped laughing then. "Well, why? What did he do?"
"He turned him into a generator." "He's still out there behind our shed. He'll never move again."
After that, Stuart and Falcon became really useful engines, and all 3 were happy together for many years. Then hard times came. The mines in the hills closed, and the railway was closed too. People came to buy the engines.
"We'll take Stuart and Falcon."
No one wanted Duke. They thought him too old. "Cheer up, Grandpuff," called Stuart. "We'll find you a nice railway, and then you can come and keep us in order." They tried to be brave and cheerful, but no one really thought their dreams would come true. Duke's driver and fireman oiled and greased him one last time. They sheeted him snugly and said goodbye. Then they had to go away and find work. Duke was alone.
"Oh well,"
he sighed,
"I'll go to sleep. It'll help to pass the time."
Winter torrents washed soils from the hills. trees and bushes grew all around. You wouldn't have known a shed was there, let alone a little engine asleep inside.
That's not a happy ending,
cried Percy. Ah, murmured Thomas. There will be one, but that'll have to wait until next time. It was a beautiful night on the island of Sodor. The day's work was done, and the engines puffed safely home.
Thomas,
whispered Percy.
will you tell us the end of the story?
You mean the one about Duke, the lost engine?
Exactly,
said Henry.
but please remind us of the story so far.
So Thomas began, and here is the rest of the story he told. Duke was old and lived with two young engines called Stuart and Falcon. They teased Duke and called him Grandpuff, but they were happy together. Then their line was closed down, and the young engines went away. Duke was left alone in the shed. He went to sleep, and everything around him changed. But Duke was never forgotten. Years went by until one day not long ago, visitors came to see Sir Topham Hatt. "We want to find Duke," they said, "and make him happy again." Maps lay everywhere. "If we follow the old line shown here on the map," they said, "we'll travel north of the village and then into the mountains. And look, there's a sign for the old station. If Duke's anywhere, he's there." Everyone set off to the mountains far away. The days went by and the search grew harder, but the rescuers wouldn't give up. "Let's go this way," they said. But there was still no sign of Duke. "He's here somewhere," they said. They scrambled over hills, struggled over ditches. At last their search ended, quite by accident. "We've found him! We've found our Sleeping Beauty!"
Excuse me,
inquired Duke.
are you a vandal? Driver told me vandals break and smash things.
"Bless you, no," laughed the rescuers. "We've dropped in because we couldn't find your door. Falcon and Stuart will be pleased to see you."
So they did remember,
sighed Duke happily. Then they all set off for Duke's new home. Stuart and Falcon were ready with a big welcome.
He's here,
they whispered.
Shh, shh. You woke me up,
grumbled Duke.
In my young days, engines were... Seen and not heard, Grandpuff. We know. We'll all be back to work tomorrow. We're glad you've come back. We can keep you in order now. Keep me in order? Be off with you, impudent scallywags.
But Duke's old eyes twinkled, and for the first time in years he smiled as he dozed in the sun. And that, said Thomas, is the whole story. Did you like it?
Yes, indeed, agreed the engines, especially the happy ending.
And soon they were all asleep too.